I wanted to go over the recent changes in D7X, starting last month in December of 2020, when we introduced over 40 new Windows 10 tweaks to our already revamped and mostly now Windows 10 tweaks tab and area. Most of these now new ones are in under performance. However, we've also got some under functionality, power plan even, your interface explorer. We've got a whole new tab, start menu / taskbar. And you'll find that the only things that aren't Windows XP tolerant or completely multi-platform are in the obscure tweak section in the back. And this is just where some of the junk still exists that is not so modern and necessary anymore. The next thing I'd like to talk about, I don't have a visual for because I can't really make a file or a folder or a registry key or value that is as difficult to delete as D7 can delete. D7 has been greatly improved in the areas of deleting files and directories, registry keys and values, and all of this is through internal functionality. A lot of work has been put into unlocking files that have open handles from other processes, taking ownership, setting permissions. All of these things have been done through D7X and improved upon internally and don't require external modules like in the past when D7X required sub and ACL to take ownership. That's no longer the case. One area you can see the new delete is if you're using the context menu items that D7X can install, or the shell extensions I sometimes refer to them as, when you right click on files and folders in Windows Explorer. So for example, I have examine file, I have this extensions with the submenu and extensions action with another submenu. If you don't have these, you can go to your shell extensions and install them right here. Better yet, go to your config, go to session, go to start session, be sure and put the checkbox and install right here, this second item, install D7X, right click context menu items in Explorer. You must end session to remove them. Okay, so what that's telling you is that every time you start a new session, you first run D7X on a new PC, it will install those context menu items. And when you end session, which is the last time you run D7X on a PC, no matter how you end session, as long as you end session, it will remove those context menu items. The first context menu item I can talk about is under our extensions action section, and it is secure delete. This was actually broken in a previous release, I believe, if not under every circumstance, at least under certain circumstances it certainly was, and has now been fixed. This is actually sysinternal secure delete, and it runs 3 passes for the secure delete routine. The most important delete functionality is now D7X delete. D7X delete, in addition to just working, is going to log in your reports section under your malware logs. You'll have a manual tools log, and then you'll have your delete success. And of course, if there were a failure, you would have one, but I don't think so, because we've made some other new improvements to D7X. If it weren't already going to happen and be deleted in previous versions, new versions now take ownership and permissions under the trusted installer account if necessary before deleting files. This was done previously using third-party utility sub and ACL. This was Microsoft's utility actually, but now D7X does all this through internal functionality and does it better. Further, if the file is in use, and that's why it can't be deleted, D7X has been greatly improved with the file unlocking capabilities, which you'll also find on the D7X Tools tab under File Unlocker. This removes open file handles through any other app that might have a file handle open to a file that you're, say, trying to delete. This has been improved so much, and you can also find that under Unlock File under the Extensions Action section. But this is all done when you try to delete through D7X. So not only is it going to log it It's going to take ownership and permissions. It's going to do it all under the trusted installer account if necessary and auto elevate to that. It's going to delete that file. If it's a folder, the delete functionality will pretty much do the same thing, except for if on the off chance that the folder can't be deleted for some reason in the world. Every file and subfolder in there will have the same delete routine assigned to it, essentially in a list, and it may take some time, but it is definitely going to eradicate all of the files in that folder. That information pretty much covers the improvements under take ownership and permissions and unlock file shell extensions. Our command prompt here extension has been improved. Now you'll see it has in parentheses admin/TI. And what that means is previously when you clicked command prompt here on a file or a folder, and yes, even a file, it will open in the same directory as that file. When you clicked command prompt here through d7x, it opened in a standard user command prompt with standard user privileges. Now, as you'll see, when you click it, you get a UAC prompt for d7x, and you're going to have a question, do you want to run CMD as trusted installer? And if you select no, it'll just run as administrator, as you can see there. If you were to select yes, it's going to run as trusted installer, and you'll see that confirmation up here that you have trusted installer privilege. It's not just the action extensions that have been improved, but the regular ones have too. Well, you can't really do much with Open in Notepad, but Search Internet, that relies on the d7x browser module, and the d7x browser module has been greatly improved so that now when you use the Search Internet feature, several things happen. For one, you no longer get the UAC prompt because d7x browser no longer requires automatic admin elevation. It can do that as necessary if you use it to perform one of the functions that it needs administrator access for. But if you're just using it for a browser, it's just going to browse. The next thing it does is it obeys d7x config, and it will redirect you to the system default browser, which it did in this case because my configuration is set for the system default browser. You'll notice that it, of course, obeys the search engine rules, and you can find those rules under your d7 config under browser search tab. You'll have the default browser used by d7x. So this is now obeyed essentially by the d7x browser. It will obey your home page here, your setting there, and it also obeys your custom search engine here. So you can choose your own search engine, like you see I've used DuckDuckGo. Another improvement under extensions, we have our search registry functionality. And the search registry functionality now, it still prompts you to run as administrator, and now it actually automatically elevates to trusted installer privileges. So this registry search is now going to run it under trusted installer, and it should not be hindered by any registry permissions there. And finally, we have upload to virus total, which has been improved, actually fixed. It previously didn't work, okay, and this file is too large to actually upload. I guess there's a 2 meg limit on it or something like that. Let's try this one. So you'll see right here in the top we do have virus total results for map drive. Ooh, 11 of 76, and this is my own software. You can get your link right here if you need to see what the detection is. And I apparently need to do some submitting of false positives. And we'll also see that functionality fixed under examine file. Examine file will attempt to automatically query virus total, and you'll see right here it'll pop up, bam, 1176 right there. So there you have it. And by the way, for this video I had D7 open, and there's absolutely no need to because everything works without D7 being open. I believe I neglected to mention, just as a last little thing, the search internet strips away documents and settings and users from the path and the path name. Yay. One more thing about the delete functionality. I did remove a delete on reboot extension, shell extension here. That delete on reboot is sort of obsolete because now if you attempt to delete it through this and for some reason it does not delete, it will offer you the delete on reboot option right there. It will actually also offer you the option to create an IFEO, which, long story short, prevents the executable from running. So if it's an executable, you'll have the option to prevent it from ever running again, just in case the delete on reboot fails. That's all new, and it's definitely worth checking out if you ever need to delete something stubborn. Hope this video wasn't too long and has been of help to you. Thanks a lot for watching.